The whole look.
The Star.
Yeah, y'all already know. Seven the Panther. That dude Fizz on the beat. Yeah. We live in entertainment. Sound change. Crown the kings, homie. This is where it get ill. About to have the tip off live as a tip drill. From the court to the diamond, to the track, to the big skin, flying around the field, starting five forever, keeping it real. If it matters in the world of sports, jeans and long sleeves, they taking no shorts. Hot to death, oh yes, these other sports podcasts live as a pros corpse. Biz market wave, the starting five goes off. No matter who you cheer for, emotions out the window, they analyzing with clear thoughts. They take it way deeper than the boys ever. No longer got any use for the four letters. The latest news, score stats and the view from the sideline. Ain't no guideline, it's just the truth. Yeah, no need to dig for a pardon line. It's always in season if people start five. We going in on three, run the baseline, start five, get it. We got what you need. If the sports news you see, we don't waste time. We talking cause we live it. We got what you need. We going in on three, run the baseline, start five, get it. We got what you need. And y'all know me, seven sign, I'm the illest cat stick. I got what you need.
We back. Nigga time. What up, everybody? I'm gonna keep it quick. This is the newest episode of Star 5. It's your boy the man that DJ named Ace 5, your mom's favorite fat guy, who's got the Hooks Rub box next to him today. But the box is usually next to.
What up? What's going on, y'all? A little blustery out here today, but besides that, the weather's fine. This is what they call, I guess, the false fall in New York, right? This false fall, working towards winter time. We're just gonna wake up one day, it'll be 30 degrees outside, and you won't know it because it'll be crispy bright outside, and then it'll smack you in the face, and that's where the term brick comes from, because it hits you like a brick when you step outside. Then you got to go back inside and readjust for your day so you can go back outside. I got to throw some more clothes. Crazy out here. But everything's good. Go on vacation at the end of the week. Looking forward to that. Some nice, warm, sunny weather in the Caribbean. So, yeah, everything is good. I'm going to pass it off to my man below us. I mean, figuratively and literally, because he's down 95 the corridor. What's up, Ty?
What's up? I'm here. I'm ready to go. I didn't do nothing interesting this week. Play some video games. You know, the usual crap. Oh no, I did do something interesting. Me and my kids was playing this Xbox Pass video game where you like a space Uber, and you got different things you got to do on the ship, like control the some people got to do the navigation, somebody got to do the pilot and feed the guests. I thought it was just because it's four of us, we can all play together, so I thought it was something corny to play, but that thing actually popped. Stressed me out a little bit.
It sounds like a crazy taxi.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
Sounds like almost like a crazy taxi. Is it like a crazy taxi?
No, you're not really flying the ship. You inside. So it's like if you got a passenger in there, they might say they're hungry. Somebody got to get them some food, or the navigation might go out.
Oh, damn.
Fix it. Or if we going the wrong way, somebody got to hit the navigation and turn us back on course, and you get timed on.
Oh, so everybody's got a job.
Yeah.
Basically, that's dope.
It was kind of it looked like a cool little game, but once you get into it, man, we was rocking that thing. So I always like when I find little stuff like that.
That's dope, man. It was a Game Pass game?
Huh? Yeah, it was.
You said it was on Game Pass?
Yeah.
Nice. That's one of them things that like more of the hardcores are saying, like, even though it's really like, yo, who's really got an Xbox? Well, you and the homie Brian from the UWO, y'all got Xboxes. But anybody else is right, PlayStation 5. But the one selling point for the Xbox is that Game Pass.
I don't know where all this Xbox hate is coming from, for real. Like, I rock with my Xbox. I don't see no problem with it, but it just seems like Xbox ain't it. But it's just for me.
As a former Xbox owner myself, I don't understand the hate either, Ty. I used to get dirty looks. It's like when I was around my friends with Apple phones, and I was like, "Yo, I got an Android and shit." They just looked at me with disgust. You know what I'm saying?
But nah, see, I was an Xbox guy too. I was what I have. I think I don't remember if I got the one, but I definitely had a 360. No, yeah, no, I had the first one. I had the first Xbox. I had the 360. Um, and, what it really is, I think, amongst like the majority of the gaming community is the lack of Xbox exclusives. The lack of exclusives, and that's for the
I'll
people
give
who
you that.
play a lot of like the first people open world stuff like that. Like I think that's where the discrepancy truly is. It's a lack of exclusives. Um, but Game Pass is, like I said, Game Pass is one of them things that it actually sounds like it runs with a certain level of consistency that you can kind of rely on it and not have, there's not too much fear about like any other connected bullshit and issues that you're usually. The only issue I find with certain things like that, just on like the streaming level, and in some respects, like having arguments and conversations with a lot of our rap and hip hop head friends, is the ownership of said media. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to video games, because I play so few, I'd rather own it on disc than have it owned in stream, because then what happens when you lose it and you lose everything? You know what I'm saying? Or you don't
Yeah.
have the ability to, like it could stay in like your game history of what you purchased, but then will it be available to download later type situation? You know what I'm saying?
So the biggest thing early on when I had my 360 was when you went online. The biggest discrepancy I saw, and I used to laugh at them all the time, was PlayStation servers used to crash religiously, or would get hacked religiously on damn near a weekly basis. It was a problem, and dudes would try to clown me, and I was like, "Yeah, but you can't play your game for more than 10 minutes before the shit goes down, or you can't play it for a week
True.
because your shit got hacked." And then we get so upset and frustrated. I was like, we don't have those problems on this side. And this is coming from, I went from Nintendo, Sega Genesis, PS2 to Xbox. And I just stayed with Xbox after that. But early on, man, you guys had some real back office issue problems with the servers, links, cheating was rampant. It was crazy. It was like the Wild West for y'all over there. And I was just like, I'm gonna just stay over here because it's good.
Which is funny to think about when you think about Xbox connected to Microsoft being PC, and PC is this, Microsoft Windows general regular PC is the shit that you're getting all the viruses on. Is the shit that you're having most of the hackers on. While in the Apple computer, it's the opposite. Not saying Microsoft, not saying PlayStation is like the Apple, you know what I'm saying? But just thinking about it, like you didn't I do remember, I don't recall too many hack situations via Xbox. And the controller, the one thing, though the PlayStation controller is the far superior now, at one time that Xbox controller it felt great to hold. Not holding the Duke though, the big
It
one,
was the
the
shit.
old original joint. That shit was like this big. No, once they got to like the 360 and then the one and then that style control, that control system, that control setup was the shit. With
My
pretty much where they're at now, Tyrone.
My transition was very much easy. I was PlayStation guy. I didn't fuck with Xbox. I was PlayStation dude. So I had a PlayStation 2 and I was going to get a PlayStation 3. I had planned on it. But the 360 came out before the PlayStation 3. And what had happened was I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get this 360 because I didn't have a I just was like new system hungry. So I got the 360, and then in my head, I was still gonna buy that PlayStation 3. You know what I'm saying? In my head, I was gonna have both systems. I got the 360 and I liked it. So I was like, I'm not spending no money on a PlayStation 3. I'm gonna just play this. And then I kind of just stayed with Xbox after that. It kind of just
Fell in love, bro.
because in my
Fell
head,
in love, bro.
every year I say I'm gonna get both systems, and the money say no, you're not. You're not.
Yeah, word. And see, Tyrone, that part right there is what stopped me from doing exactly that. Because literally almost every and actually it wasn't every year. I would take breaks in between. And when it was PS3, Xbox 360, like I was buying both. And then I was buying a copy of the same game for each system each and every year because Madden. Some friends had PS2 to PS3. Some friends had Xbox. I wanted to play both. Crossplay wasn't a thing yet at the time, so you had to turn on one or the other. I stopped at the 360. You know, the Red Ring of Death version of the 360. And I just got tired of like the malfunction and the failure of the hardware when it came to that.
I give you that.
Shit like that.
I give you that.
That's where, but before that, like I was the kid that I was trying to, I mean, I'm not the first day release guy, never have been, except for like maybe Midnight Madden. But as far as systems is concerned, nah, I've always kind of waited a few sale periods, part because they were hard to get. Two, you get a lot of the bugs and the bullshit out the way as the first generations go out the door first. You know what I'm saying? Now PS5, when I finally got my PS5, that was because it was almost fucking 2 years of waiting. You know, that was a good year and a half. And I told that story, but yeah, I used to I was Nintendo, then the Super Nintendo, then eventually I was able to obtain a Sega Master System, got a Sega Genesis when it was the slim console, had TurboGrafx, had an Atari because my father found it at work. Then I just evolved PlayStation 1, the first Xbox. I'm gonna get back to the first Xbox in a second. PlayStation 2, 360. Then it became PS3, PS4, PS5. Stayed away from the Xbox. Had the Wii. Then I won a Wii U.
Wii is terrible.
The Wii was dope for its time. It was a party console, but it wasn't the best. You just kind of had to know what you were getting with that. It wasn't the best. And the Wii U, though heavily touted as one of the worst, I actually enjoyed that system because the way the controller was, it had the screen in it, right? And that was one of the first joints that I've ever seen where you can have a game playing and work and play with the regular Wiimote while I would have my daughter sitting on the side. Oh no, I would be watching something on TV, turn on the Wii. She could sit there with the Wiimote, with the big Wiimote, the Wii U remote, and watch Netflix or watch YouTube on the fucking remote. It was able to watch two separate things at two separate times. Dope. That's the one dope thing that people don't talk about. They just talk about how the games are suck. You know, but I read through my whole console history. The one thing I loved about the first Xbox, though, you was able to upload music to it via CD and have that music play while in whatever game you had playing.
Oh, that was dope. That is dope.
That was dope because PlayStation would let you upload the music to your PlayStation so you can play the music on the TV, but you couldn't get it into the games though. You couldn't put it on the games. You can get it on you can play the music on your television, like use your TV as your speaker. But I thought it was dope because I was trying to put it on the games and PlayStation didn't let you. You couldn't do that shit. So I was hyped when I found out you could do it. I was hyped about it. But the problem the right reason why I couldn't get the Xbox original one because my friends came over and the box was bigger than the TV, and you can't. So I couldn't get the first Xbox. That original Xbox was huge, man.
hmm But I remember, what was it? I guess it was Forza was playing or some other racing game. It was playing some other racing game, but also was it Madden 2000 or maybe Madden 2000? What was the version of Madden that had the Mark Echo team in it? Where there was the team, like it was like an all Madden team, but it was Team Mark
but it had
Echo,
his Echo
where they had
uniforms, right?
the Echo, with the fucking rhino on the helmet, the white with the red
Yeah,
uniform. Fucking
yeah.
Angie Martinez, I think was like either like a quarterback or
Was
like a
that
DB on
05?
that team.
Was that
I
05?
don't remember, but I just remember playing that joint while playing like fucking like Grave Diggers and some shit, or playing like fucking Lyricist Lounge 2 while playing
Nice.
playing the game, playing any car racing game and listening to music while you're in the car and not having to listen to the shitty ass game music, in-game music. You know what I'm
I
saying?
would turn
Like,
that shit off and just
that was the
listen to the
dope
car
shit.
when I was driving.
Oh nah.
No.
You a psychopath.
No, San Andreas had some good radio stations on that GTA.
Oh, no doubt. That was well curated.
Yeah. I couldn't
That was
play
well
that though.
curated.
I couldn't.
That was well curated, sir.
Word. No, it definitely was. That was just one of them games I couldn't play. As you know, I told y'all, motion sickness, yada yada, would make me want to throw up type shit. But I will say though, you can do the PS5. You can do that again. Like you could play music while playing certain games. Like but the way it is, and my daughters got me hip to it. My 10-year-old got me hip to it because I didn't even know. You play Spotify. You have Spotify playing while you're
On the PS5?
while you're playing whatever the game is. Yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah. So I put I forgot which one of my kids freaking Spotify's is signed into my PS5. But they now have a Jay Dilla channel. They have an MF Doom channel. They got a Mad Lib channel.
Nice.
all channels that I had to listen to while playing my Madden and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
Yeah.
That is nice.
Man. That's
When your kids
It was a good trip down memory lane.
when your kids show you stuff like that, do they make you feel stupid about it? Cause my kids be showing me
no,
stuff.
it don't make me feel stupid.
No, I'm not talking about you just feel that way on your own. My kids make me feel stupid about it. Like when they do something to me like that, then they
Like, yo, how you didn't know about
yeah,
this?
they give me this dumbass. You turn around and look at me like I'm stupid as fuck. Or sometimes my daughter even say, my 15-year-old, you ain't know that? Damn, you ain't know that? And I was just be like, look,
You should be like you didn't know I bought this PS5? You didn't know that? You didn't know that?
Oh, my kids definitely know that shit. They definitely know I bought this shit, but no. My kids don't they don't jerk me around like that though. They don't get me like that. But it is like it's just like what they do is they catch me off guard. And nowadays it's like, oh shoot, like I didn't know we could do that. Like it's to me, it's like that's what it's like. It's like, oh, I didn't know we could do that. Like, really? It was like, yeah, I just did this one day and that's it. And I was like, oh shit, nice. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I took it when it came to my kids finding and shit. And
Ty,
then
your
it's like,
kids sound like
because
button
you know what it
pushers,
is?
Ty.
oh, dude, they be waiting for me to say I can't do something. I'll be on my phone, they be staring me down. I don't know how to bang. They snap my phone so quick. I do.
Yeah, that's button pushers,
see,
man.
nah, I don't
That's
get
not
that.
good.
But that's why I said if I ever was a Marvel character, I would have like some kind of power where stuff that I say would irritate people so bad that I can force them to do things. Because that's what it is. I talk so much shit to them that they just doing anything to get back. You know what I mean? They do anything to get back, bro.
No,
Damn,
yeah, nah. See, I'm lucky.
that's
I'm
funny.
lucky my kids aren't that like that. You know what I'm saying? My kids ain't like that. It's just like if they'll put me. You know what it is? They'll put me onto something certain times because I'm not spending the time on said systems like I used to be able to figure that shit out. You know what I'm saying? While they're the ones that are sitting there in front of the TV, all this, that, and the third. Y'all know where my lounge is at. It's right here.
Yeah, it's right
So
there.
I'm not trying to sit in front of the TV no more. You know what I'm saying? I'm listening to other shows doing stuff like that while they're the ones now doing the discovering of, which is cool, man. Let that shit carry with you to adulthood. You know what I'm saying? My kids for the most part, especially my daughter Zoe, like she's a gamer, but she's a gamer by way of new age gamer. Like there's this racing game that I found for free on the the PlayStation Network. That it's like a cheesy Mario Kart, but it was free. And it's actually fun to play. She'll turn it on once a day, like, yo, I gotta get my wins and then I'm out. Like I gotta get my wins, get my couple first place joints, and then I'm out. And then she's a hardcore Minecraft, freaking Roblox gamer on the phone. Shit like that, play like she's what the new age gamer looks like in some ways by way of the mobile phone. You know, they got the system right there. They can play it, and they do play on the system. When they feel like playing, I told y'all the Street Fighter 6 and Street Fighter 5 and all of that, and I got to whoop their ass a couple times before I can give the sticks up. But I just love it. I love it. There's certain traditions that my kids carried on that like I used to do. Video games is one of them. Staying in the house ain't one of them because they love to do that unless they have to be going somewhere. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Like we got to be
mm.
going out somewhere to
Exactly.
want to do just be outside.
But that's the craziest. That's the most craziest thing that I can't understand. Now I know they say TV and video games. I know that they say all of that stuff influences you. I get it. But the way these kids want to be in the house is out. I cannot understand. It's insane to me. Like I would jump over every video system, every TV, every cell phone to get out the door when I was a kid. Like I never wanted to be in the house. And now these kids they're going over their friend's house to go in the house. And it's just like I don't
But
know. You can even take your phone. Your phone is a
let
mobile device. You can even take it outside, and they still don't want to be out there, bro. It's crazy to me.
but last time we talked about this shit, we talked about it though in the angle of the difference was we would go over to our friends' houses to also go inside, but then it was like, all right, we had enough Nintendo, let's go the fuck back outside. You know what I'm saying? Like we had a mix, we had a balance between what we chose to do and what we didn't choose to do. You know what I'm saying? But we had that balance of, all right, you know what, we getting tired, let's go inside and spend 800 hours on the Nintendo. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's use our running energy nest on the sticks. Pause. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what we did.
It's just that when they go outside, they don't have the imagination. I don't know. I don't want to say it like that. The imagination, creativity to see what they're doing. Like when we outside, we were going outside with purpose. You know what I'm saying? These kids are not coming outside with purpose. There's no purpose for them to go outside. They don't understand why they should be outside, or even just to walk around, or just absorb sunlight and let it hit your face and just like
That part. That part. Just touch grass.
Even get to
yeah,
enjoy.
like
My
smell some
upstairs,
fresh air.
like the kids from upstairs, my upstairs neighbors, they're actually outside right now playing, kicking the soccer ball around. Usually I was able to always get my kids to at least, yeah, and y'all used to hear them on past shows flying up and down the sidewalk on the scooter. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm surprised it's not that bad out. I'm surprised my daughter didn't come say, Daddy, I want to roller skate. Go ahead across the street. You know what I'm saying? There's the warehouse building across the street. When nobody's parked there, they don't complain that the kids are roller skating. Nobody's even working right now, but I've never gotten a complaint. You know what I'm saying? Because it's safer than being in the middle of the street. You know, so
It goes
it's
back to
just it's
all.
weird like that.
It goes back to like nobody goes out, nobody meets up with the bikes no more, and goes out and goes on like your little missions. You don't hear kids getting chased by dogs anymore. That was a big deal
Or
back in
chased
the
by
day when I was
grown ass
growing up.
adults with
Nobody's getting chased. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not taking walks on adventures to see what's on the other side of town and shit like that. You're not. Nobody wants to explore past where they're at because they're comfortable. You know what I'm saying? It's just there's no purpose for them. They need a reason to go over there. If there's no reason for them to go outside, then they're not, or a reason that they need to go or want to go outside for them, they're not doing it.
Yep.
They're just not doing it.
And it's
Yep.
some of the stuff seems crazy to my kids. Like when I tell them, like, we used to get chased by dogs, and they used to be like, "Oh, that's crazy. That sounds terrible." And I'm like, "No, actually, it was only bad for the one who got caught." You know what I'm saying? Or
That's how you knew who the fastest person on your block was. You know what I'm saying?
The crazy man from around the corner used to chase us. Well, why he used to chase y'all? We threw rocks at him to get him to chase. We knew he wasn't in danger. You know what I mean? It was a game. He wasn't gonna do nothing when he caught us. Plus, he couldn't catch us. So it was fun. My kids said, "Y'all used to do crazy stuff." Like, yeah, we had fun doing it too.
And remember, like every neighborhood had like the mythical, like, yo, that house over there, like, yo, there's this crazy person that lives over
Yes,
there.
don't go to
Yo,
that
house over there, yo, somebody said that there's like heads in the refrigerator type shit, and we just ride by looking at it like, oh, nah. Some of that shit carries to adulthood, like, yo, remember this story, remember that shit. You know, my father's walking by now. He's of the era where they used to be able to get 18 kids outside and play a full baseball game. Yeah, like he just said, with no problem. Our era, the numbers started to diminish when you was able to get at least 8-on-8 football or 7-on-7 football, or even play 5-on-5 tackle. You know, nowadays, see them outside just throwing the ball.
They ain't doing that.
We used to go recruit our guys, or you can go knock on the door. But we had a hard time because all of them was on punishment all the time, man. It wasn't because we couldn't get the mom already knew too. Oh, as soon as she answered the door, oh, he ain't playing no football today. Close it right back, right in your face.
Back in the day, it was no problem getting like 15 guys, 18 guys to go play football on a Saturday morning around 11:30. You know what I'm saying? And
every
dudes was playing with
neighborhood had
mouthpieces, and they had like, it's like they all had their own little jerseys, and we'd be out there for hours, man. You know, beating the shit out of each other. You know what I'm saying? Punish, on the grass fields, and it would be the best time ever. You crack up, you make new friends that you never, people you never played with before and shit like that. It's just that was social media. That's what it was. It was social media. You were getting up, meeting people in person, and exchanging. You didn't realize that you had so much in common with a person you never knew before. You're like, oh, you like this? You do this? Oh, it was just a different time.
Like I said a couple weeks ago, like there's people I'm still friends with in some respects that we met when we used to go bike riding to go to the arcade machines. And I would literally, if I were to take you on a tour of all the spots that we used to play the arcade machines at, like I could fucking show you which store it was or used to be. If we was inside, I could be like, yo, the machines used to be right here, right here, right here. This joint had the Street Fighter. This store, former Orient Express, used to have the one of the versions of Street Fighter that was different from the one that was down the way. Nobody used to go into the Orient Express because they would try to chase you out the store. Meanwhile, in front of Majors, everybody was in front of there playing Street Fighter 2, playing fucking when Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition came out, they were the first to have it. NBA Jam. I can tell you the store where that had what was it, NFL Blitz? NFL Blitz. That was the joint where you was able to make like them ridiculously hard hits and shit like that. Like, yeah, I could tell you where the
It's
Street
funny
Fighter
you
2
should
that
say
had
that,
the
Dan.
cheese version. Like,
It's funny you should say that because you know what all that shit did? Keep you from getting into trouble, bro. That shit kept
or
you
you were
out of.
getting in trouble at them shits. Let's keep it real. You were getting in trouble at them shits too. You put your quarter up, and then somebody tried to be like, "Nah, nigga, I got next," and it would either be a little scrap or push or a stare down, and it'd be like, "You know what? Fuck it, you got it."
But that would be the most of it. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't trying to fight in no establishment back then. You know what I'm saying? You wasn't doing that. You had to be really upset to do that shit because somebody be like, yo, let's take
Right.
it outside. Let's take it outside.
Mhm.
We always had that one old head that watched everything and would come in and whatever he said, he was like Jesus, a God or something. He come and go, yo, no. Then he put his quarter there first. He beat his ass, his ass, his ass. He's still up and he's going, wait. And then everybody was like, oh, old head said it. He right. You know what I mean? He could be lying nothing. The old head. When the old head came in the store and shut it down, whoever turn he said it was their turn. You know what I mean? So you always had that old head that looked out. But
Speaking of old heads, my
Wow.
bad, Tyrone. I didn't mean to cut you off, but the
Wow.
birthday
Wow.
boy
He made an
showed up.
appearance.
We thought he was good. We thought he was in fucking Allison Schumer land right now. Gone.
Oh, what's good? What's good, fellas? I'm here trying to fix my audio and shit.
We can
My
see
bad.
it. You got that old man look in the screen. But continue, Tyrone. My bad.
but it was just too like it was just the camaraderie, you know, like you made even if we got into a fight, you can get to a fight with some kids from the other neighborhood, but then you realize they only live a couple of blocks away. We can play with them. You know what I
Yep.
mean? We can play with them. So you might fight a kid and you realize he lives a couple of blocks away, and it's like, oh, we could be cool with these kids. We can expand our little gang, our little group. We can find football players. You know what I mean? So even sometimes back then, a fight even ended up being like a kind of like a decent thing. And the other point I want to make is that them memories that you make outside as a kid with the other kids in your neighborhood don't never go away. It ain't like you stay friends with those people, but I could see one of them right now and they'd be like, remember when we jumped over the fence and broke and it fell down and we had to play the neighbor? You know what I mean? The stories that you built, they never forget them. As soon as you see that motherfucker, you remember the story. He was there with you. You know what I mean?
Yes. You lived that shit. You lived it.
Or
Those were
I
the
mean,
days.
even
Those were the days.
I'm sorry, my shit's breaking up. But even like just people from the neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? Like you can see them now in passing, and it's like, yo, what's up? What's up? You know, like it's because it's all love because you was in the same neighborhood, whether you ran with them or not. You know what I'm saying? Like it was all within the same neighborhood. So like for me, it was like it was all Port Richmond love type shit. You know what I'm saying? Even though there would be certain spots, it was like, nah, we don't fuck with that side of the block. We don't fuck with that side of the block. Whatever, whatever. But then you got older, and it was just like, you know what? It was like, yo, fuck it. It's all the same shit. It's all the, in a way, it's like we all the same gang because it's all the same neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Like I know you, you know me, but we didn't know each other. Like we knew each other. You know what I'm saying? It's like we knew each other, but we wasn't kicking it like that. But we older now. We could be on a different
Yeah.
plane now because people are on different mindsets, different types of time and life and all that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it definitely did it built something way different with us that I could say the generation of my kids to a point it's lost until you get into school and start building them friendships in school. You know what I'm saying? Like my
Yeah.
youngest daughter, like she just graduated 5th grade, but like every day, though their version of outside is they're in the same server playing Minecraft together while on the phone, but in the same server running around in Minecraft together. The difference is they're just like we said before, they ain't touching grass, they ain't getting the sunlight and that natural vitamin D absorbing into their skin. You know what I'm saying? That's like the one difference. But
Facts.
oh, if you're not
Oh shit.
Yeah, we were talking about how different it is to be a teenager or a kid. Like back in the day, we went outside. We went outside with a purpose. Like we went outside to ride bikes, went outside to meet up, play games, play football, basketball. We always went outside with a mission, with a purpose. And then you were rounding up your boys or your peoples. You go into their house and grab them and be like, yo, we out. You knew I spoke to you on Friday at school. You know we was coming out. Because that was back in the day when you called somebody, you had to call their house and you had to speak to their moms before you even spoke to them. So it's completely different now than it was back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I remember, man, you talk about playing video games all day. That was not a thing. But that you played video games like what? Maybe 6, 7 o'clock when you after playing outside all day. That was your thing.
Right.
It wasn't no video games after 1 o'clock, after Saved by the Bell or wrestling or whatever. Nah, we was outside.
Because you wanted to go outside. You didn't even want to play video games at that time. You wanted to be outside.
Or you was losing. You was losing. Because if I was losing in the video game, I was quick to be like, yo, let's go play some basketball. Like, let's get the fuck out of here.
Remember, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what neighborhood, what neighborhood or whatever you was in. Them old school football games or basketball games, whatever old school basketball games there were, you be beating your friend and be like, yo, I bet you can't do that in the court though. And that's what we need to. You can't beat me outside though.
Mm-hmm.
It don't matter what the neighborhood, yo.
That is facts. I forgot about that saying right there.
Mm-hmm. Either the dude that was kicking your ass would shut the fuck up, or be like, I bet.
I ain't good on this game, but I'm good in real life.
Yep. Hey, those some times, boy.
Ooh, those were the days.
Shit.
Oh man, that was a good trip right there. Because we were saying, like nobody talks about getting chased by dogs or like being chased by the old man down the block and shit like that. No, that don't happen no more.
You know the crazy shit. Okay, so I was in the Bronx. I was living in Parkchester until about 1986. There was no dogs over there, or whatever, because we couldn't have dogs in Parkchester. I moved to Queens, and that shit was a culture shock because there was a dog in every block, and we used to have a gang of dogs, just stray dogs, just roaming the streets, and that shit used to frighten the hell out of me. So I was that dude. I was that kid, man, running from dogs and shit because that was a straight culture shock for me as a kid.
You always had that.
It was a real one too, because you was running for your life.
No, every neighborhood had that one crazy dog that bit every kid. It's like the one dog, as soon as you see him, you're like, get out,
bro.
Yeah. Mine was White Sox.
Ty, we had a Nikita that lived in this body repair shop down the block from my house, and this dog gave zero fucks about anybody except the people in the body shop, bro. This dog chased the UPS man out the truck. You see the dog go in the truck, the UPS man come out the truck. It was like a cartoon. He ran around the truck, the dog followed him. He got back inside the truck, closed the doors, ran to the side and closed the other door. The dog was a menace. A menace. He terrorized, and they would leave the gate wide open to the body shop, so you couldn't even like walk by it in the street. Because all they would yell, and his name was Baron, and you would never forget this dog's name. It was Baron. And they would just be yelling at this dog all day long. I'm like, yo, just chain the nigga up. Why can't you just put him on a leash? Why you got him out here, bro?
You know the crazy shit about that?
Like
you know
he's
the crazy shit
free.
about that though? As a kid, and I know this again. I'm talking for every neighborhood. You know the route you going home. You know what I'm saying, from school or wherever, the library or whatever the fuck. You getting bubble guts. No, leading up to that's probably like, oh God, please God, don't let this dog be outside.
It'd be like one of them horror movies. You'd be walking slow.
It was real fear.
Alley. Hey, that motherfucker down there.
what made it worse, it was broad daylight. It wasn't even dark out. It was broad daylight that you was looking for this.
Like, I do not feel like getting bit in the ass today, man. Please.
And the thing is, yo, our
Dude, you
parents,
were trained to listen to hear for dog chains and collars.
Yep.
Your hearing perception was on another level.
and the
You was like,
crazy
nah,
shit,
that's keys jingling. That's not the dog. You know what I'm saying?
the crazy shit is like parents didn't even care. I would go in there, my pants be ripped at the bottom, I'd be crying. My dad said, "Oh, that motherfucker got you to stay home, boy."
And you be straight traumatized, boy.
Yeah. Like, Dad, you're not gonna go in there and talk to Mr. Johnson, tell him to get his dog.
They wonder
Like,
why your
I-
clothes
You
messed
know,
up,
I've
why
said
your
it
sneakers
before.
are all messed up. He was like, the
remember
dog
where-
chased
exactly
me
where this
today.
lady lived. This woman, there was this.
Oh. Well, we know there was a woman.
It was a woman.
I say, well, yeah, my bad. My connection keeps fucking up. No, I remember there was this woman who was like 6'1", 6'2" in my neighborhood, who had these fucking 2 Great Danes that were literally like, they looked like they were like 5 feet tall, and she
Wow.
could walk them dogs with like them joints were. And but those dogs wasn't like, like everybody knew who they were, who she was, like we didn't know her name and nothing like that, but everybody knew them dogs, and nobody dared try to fuck with like at all, because that woman was walking around many horses around the neighborhood.
But shit, I mean,
But
as,
yo,
as
Like
got
you said,
older,
everybody
realized-
knew.
Yeah,
No, I
It
was
was
saying
like
that. I'm saying
everybody
Great
knew
Danes-
whose
Great
house
Danes
had
back
the
then,
dogs.
Mhm. Now go ahead, TJ.
Well,
all
some
right,
of
y'all gonna
that
get
the dog that used to
No, I
tear
was
up.
just saying, like everybody, it was a rite of passage. Like
come
you
on with
had to
all the
know
false starts.
where, where the dog was, and your boys would tell you, but you didn't really fully understand it until you actually walked the path. He was like, "Oh, this is what it's like. I'm never going this way again." It was like, "Yo, I told you, don't do it." You're like, you had to see it for yourself, and then you ended up paying the consequence if your ass got caught, or you was stuck on top of somebody's car. Somebody's running out the house yelling you to get off their car and shit like that. It was just a whole chain of events.
Mm-hmm.
You know what though? You know what the funny part though? I always felt like that motherfucker was giving me a head start. I always feel like we make eye contact and he would give me the whole "go ahead." Like, you better go. You know what I mean? Give me the whole "get the fuck on." Like, I'm gonna get you. Like, he would always get me warning. So he was cool like that. You know what I'm saying? He ain't never just jump out. He always like, "Then you on? I see
Todd,
you."
Todd,
Yo, you was the rabbit. You was
they
the
would
rabbit.
give
He
you
was
a
the
head
fucking
start
greyhound.
because you were their prey.
Uh-huh. You was the fucking rabbit. A
My dog didn't even
fucking
run a
15-minute walk used to turn into a half an hour, boy. Cause you just, I ain't going down that block.
Yeah. Going around.
Mhm.
Now we taking a long way home today. I don't feel like dealing with that bullshit over on that block. You know?
Hey, the same
I
way
don't
them
got it
dogs
in me
was like
today.
that, though, them little dirty kids was like that too. It was like certain kids you knew from the neighborhood, you ain't want to walk past them. So you had to look out for kids too, not just them dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah. You right.
Right about that
I was
shit.
going after some kids who like, James be tripping over him. I ain't going there. This James shit today, man. James be
Yo,
over there throwing rocks and shit.
talk about. You know the funny shit? It always be that one friend. You always be walking home with that one friend that knows that shit. That knows this nigga be fucking with you. And you be like, yo, we gonna walk this way. Nah, why you don't want to walk this? Why you want to walk this? Yo, you live right there, dude. Like, motherfucker, you know why.
You know why?
You know
'Cause
why.
they were throwing the rocks at you. They wasn't throwing the rocks at him, so he wanted to see you get fucked up. That's why.
You know what I'm saying?
Why?
You get home, nigga be like, yo, why they always fucking with you? Nigga, shut the fuck up.
You're right. No, look, right. The funny thing is the kid that always talk about somebody fucking with you. Oh, they always fucking with you. You need to stand up. You need to stand up. And as soon as they fuck with him, he out though. He don't help you at all. As soon as you know what I mean? Speed off right on you after he done told you yesterday, stop letting the motherfucker fuck with you. When they fuck with him, he jet on your ass.
You fucking pump the Reeboks up, boy. He pumped the Reeboks up and he's out.
You look around, you by yourself and shit. You by yourself. Like, where did he go? The good old days. The good old days.
That's a whole fact.
Happy birthday. Oh, how you feeling today?
Shit. You know, same as yesterday, man. Same as yesterday. You know, I don't know. I don't feel no different. Not yet, anyways. You know, I'm still able to get out of bed and not feel no aches and pains and shit. I'm good.
I wish I could say the same, but yo, because this was the big old show, because it's your birthday, man. You get to guide us the way you want to go for the rest of the duration of the conversation, with the exception of the NBA talk, because we do know it's starting this week. But I wanted to get a nice panel of people who talk basketball on the show, so I'm gonna save that for next week. But yeah, it's you, man. Where do you want to go? What do you want to talk about, man? It's the world is yours today. You know what I'm saying? If you want to get into your manosphere bag, you want to talk about Jada this week, finally, whatever you want to do, it's your birthday. We did the same thing for TJ. We did the same thing with TJ's birthday on TJ 50.
Damn,
I'll be honest, TJ
man,
before.
I shit. 5 minutes ago, I didn't even know I was gonna be on the show, man. I was between this fucking Espelon I've been working on and me trying to save New York City, you know, swinging through New York, man, playing my Spider-Man 2 and shit. I'm like, God damn, you know what I'm saying? But I know I have my obligations, man. So I'm happy to be here, man. This is my favorite part of the day, besides you know, going out to dinner and going out to eat and shit, because I love my food. But yeah, man, things looks like, you know, pretty much the same as last week. The same shit be going on. This week is, you know, we doing going on last week as far as everything. I mean, we ain't got to talk about Jada again. I mean, shit. You know, what's more to be said about that shit?
Again, we never dove into it. But I guess it's up to you, wherever you want to go.
It's like, do we have to? I mean, I think the consensus is pretty much feel the same. We all feel the same about Jada at this point. You know, shit. I don't know. I don't know what else is there, man.
You know what? Because there's something. You know what? I don't want to cut it from you, but there's something that we could tie. Something I was listening to. Shout out to the Owner's Box podcast. They were briefly talking about the Jada situation, and somebody decided to say, yo, everybody had a crush on Jada Pinkett Smith back then. And then I remember Tyrone mentioned the list that he shared. And I can distinctly recall I've never ever had a crush on Jada Pinkett. Ever. Never ever had.
There was
never in my top 5 or top 10.
You never had her in your top 10?
No.
Wow.
Nope.
So like right before Jason's Lyric, Set It Off, never. Fresh Prince.
Nah, man.
Lena?
Nah, man.
World, you ain't like Lena neither?
Yeah, I don't know, man. She had that. Yeah, she had a little period.
Listen, she's not a bad looking woman. I mean, Jada's dope, but I never put her in like my top 10. I was like, I mean, if it happened, great, but I wasn't like. So she was never in my top 10 back in the day.
I'm curious to know who was in your top 10 back then.
It was like Halle Berry, Nia Long,
yeah, those
Megan Good.
Megan Good was like 17.
Megan Good was goofy looking too.
Friday.
Megan Good had to
she was goofy looking.
Had to get her adult look on. You ain't see Making Good
Who
and
else back there?
oh, when she get
It was
older,
Salma
boy, look
Hayek.
out.
Who else?
J-Lo.
J-Lo too. J-Lo was a fly girl back then.
Oh, yeah.
J-Lo
I'm gonna tell
wasn't.
you who I was
Nah.
crushing on back then. I'm gonna tell you who I was crushing on back then. Sally Richardson.
Yes,
Sally Richardson.
I'll give you that. Sally
I was
Richardson.
crushing on her.
That was a Players Club, right?
No, that was oh shit. She was in that same movie with Jada. The Low Down
That
Dirty
was
Shame. Low Down Dirty Shame.
Yes. Who was the chick in Players Club?
Oh, that was Lisa Ray.
Lisa Ray?
Lisa Ray. She was up there.
Yeah.
She was up there for me.
Lisa Ray was up there.
Lisa Ray was bad.
Lisa Ray was bad.
Still is bad.
Still is bad.
Oh, yeah, she is.
Still is
Yeah.
bad. That's what we're up to, like
I'm gonna tell you,
8.
the brat confused the hell out of me because I was always like, yo, she's pretty as hell, but should I like her? Because
I didn't realize
just
how
don't
dope
know.
Debrat was until I saw her in her bikini. I was like, oh shit, that's Debrat?
Yeah.
I didn't realize how dope Debrat was until I saw her in a bikini.
Man, she ain't
Yeah.
never. No.
Yeah,
She
she
ain't
ain't
never
never do it for you.
No, I mean, I always thought she was like Nikki from down the street. I mean, I can get Nikki anytime, you know what I mean? That's just Nikki, yeah. So no, she never did it for me. But I was real bad on Tatiana.
You know who did it for me back in the day? Tisha Campbell. Tisha Campbell was banging to me back in the day. I love Tisha Campbell.
She's another one that was like an around the way girl for me though.
Yeah, she wasn't never banging.
She was.
Mm-mm.
See, that's the way I feel about Jada. I don't think Jada was that. I didn't feel that way about Jada.
I don't
Dude,
know. Jada,
anybody-
I guess Jada, she had that type of sassiness, and she was cute, and she had the sassiness. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tyrone. I'm sorry.
I would never bring no blasphemy upon the great name of Halle Berry, right? But did that swordfish situation let y'all down? Because I didn't even want to see swordfish until they started telling me Halle's titties was in it and they was in it, and that made me pay to go see that whole movie. And I'm sorry, but them titties wasn't tittying enough for me for what I heard about them.
Listen, man. Halle Berry is royalty. So Halle Berry is like Princess Diana. We don't talk about her. Like whatever top 10 of whatever you want to put her on, you know, chances are she's gonna be up there in the top 3.
Come on, Halle Berry and Boomerang? Come on, dogs. She was bad at Boomerang, bro.
I'm not
She was
saying
bad.
she's not bad.
That and then if we want to go left, Sade was it for me back in the day. So she still is it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Sade.
Yeah. Sade was killer.
You can't. Yeah. You got nothing to say about that. I have no objections to that.
Well, did you like any of them singers? All of the singers I knew back in the day, Gladys Knight, Patti LaBelle, they never looked good to me. Like, I mean, Desmond Guy kind of was the best looking singer for me as a kid growing up. I mean, Whitney was Whitney's, but I didn't like Whitney too much neither. So Sade was the first singer that you was like, okay, she could sing and get it. You know what I mean?
Janet was up there, bro. Janet was up there, bro. Janet Jackson was up there, bro.
Yeah, but I ain't.
Janet Jackson was up there, bro.
Janet was on a pedestal because she was Penny, and then she was Charlene on Different Strokes. She just kept going up and up and up on my list. Then she was Miss Jackson, if you're nasty.
Yeah.
I was about to say Rhythm Nation. Shit, we was all loving it from Rhythm Nation on down. Boy.
So you see how far Jada is falling down the rung. You see how far Jada is falling down as we keep going on.
Okay,
Jada's falling way down. She's falling way down.
I have no objections. I
think it's more the name. You know what I mean? Jada. That's Jada Pinkett. So you think of it back in the day, and you're like, oh yeah, I used to like her. But when you really look back at it, like TJ said, when we start looking at them, Jada, she ain't on the top 10. She didn't drop a few notches. We just didn't remember everybody. That's all.
Yeah.
We just didn't remember.
I'm trying to think now. Yeah. She's on the fringe. Man.
There was too much going on.
She's definitely
Fringe
in
of
the
the top
fringe.
25, maybe.
I'm trying, Jada. I'm trying.
I don't even think a top 20 for me. And
It's just a lot out there, man. It's just a lot out there. And then the more we talk about it, the more it just falls back. It just keeps getting pushed back.
Yeah.
especially when you open up your variety. Especially when you open up your variety.
Like I said, Salma's number one for me. She always gonna be a number one for me.
Yeah,
Salma Hayek is a,
that's still doing Salma Hayek. Yeah,
it's a
she's
wrap.
top 3. She's top 3.
Absolutely,
Her
sir.
and Halle is fighting right now.
At
They
1A
tussling.
and 1B. 1A and 1B, sir.
They squabbling right now.
Yeah. So, and then you forgot Selena was dope back then.
Selena who?
No, the singer.
Selena, the one who died, who got killed by what? By a manager or whatever?
Her manager, yeah.
A mother or whatever it was?
No, it was her manager.
You know, I ain't gonna lie. Holly was like number one for me for a while, right? But then I
Yes.
started getting into my my Maxim. Remember Maxim magazine?
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
FHM? I started getting
Yeah.
those magazines, and they did the Maxim 100 the year Holly won, and I was racing to get to her Maxim 100 number one pictures, and they took her back because they didn't. She wasn't sexy enough. Like she tried to keep it classy, and I know it was Holly. She wanted to be classy, but that classy turned me right off, man. I went right back to Lindsay Lohan, little dirty ass page. Like, so Holly dropped down the list for me just because of that Maxim shoot wasn't as sexy as I wanted it to be, and that took Holly down off. That took her down my list, bro. I ain't gonna lie. She never returned to the top after that.
Wow.
See,
Wow.
Well, I have a
one
question. You talking
photo.
about Lindsay Lohan?
Huh?
We talking about Lindsay Lohan. I'm talking. All right. So what about in that same realm, that same era? So what about Britney? Or Christina Aguilera?
Christina was. Oh, listen. I still got my cutouts of the Maxim magazine. That's what I'm talking about. Christina in Maxim magazine. That shoot right there with her in the water with her buns is reflecting on the top and the bottom.
There was a lot of airbrushing. There was a lot of airbrushing in that photo, dog.
Don't ruin this. Don't you ruin this.
Listen.
There was a lot of Photoshop in that work.
Christina
Don't you
Aguilera
ruin
was
this.
my number one for 10 years straight. I ain't gonna lie.
There was a lot of magic done on that computer after they took the photo, dog.
Plus, you know, Christina and Britney was the clean one. Christina was dirty. I like a little dirty.
Boy, times have changed, boy.
Britney
Times
was
have something changed.
Goodbye.
How fast have they have fallen, right?
Word.
Christina got props for me when I found out she was born out here on Staten Island.
Oh shit!
She was born in Staten Island.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Did not know that.
It was never touted from Staten Island, but yeah. But thinking way back for me, like, you know, early teen years, like Tyra Banks was my number one for those.
I was gonna say her.
And I've told that story on here before. Well, I had the big poster from the Sports Illustrated swimsuit cover.
Mm-hmm.
I had the huge poster, and my sister, for some reason, decided to turn that poster into some fake love letter and wrote to Dan from Basil. And I was like, who the fuck is Basil? I'm like, who the fuck is Basil? I've said this on here before. I'm like, who the fuck is Basil? And she wrote that shit on my poster, forever ruined my fucking poster.
You just learn to appreciate different things, because Tyra was never on my list when I was younger, but then as I got older, she kind of developed on me because I was watching that America's Top Model, and to see how Tyra can just like turn it on and off and on, and make herself go from like looking regular to like looking like she's in some kind of photo shoot in 2 seconds. I thought that shit was bomb. And then I started like seeing the different, like her eyes for real, like really looking into her eyes and seeing how beautiful she was. So I developed a taste for her, but when I was young, I was just like, look at that, she got a big ass forehead. I can't with that.
And that show, and that show started to turn me opposite on her in some ways because I started to see the attitude.
Oh yeah, the attitude. Yeah.
I started. Seeing
I knew he was gonna say that. I knew he was gonna say that.
Like
It's
I
fu-
said,
it's
Now
funny.
Jada's
It's
outside
funny.
the top
Tyra,
40. Oh,
Tyra was one of the first few that, I mean, I respected her beauty, but she was never in my top 5, top 10, top 25. You know, I
that
just
was
didn't. I
that was
just
my number one as soon as I discovered who the hell she was
no.
at that time. In my,
Hallie was always number one. Hallie might still be number one.
you know what it was though for me
He
in
taught
that era, it was the short hair. I couldn't do
Hallie.
something about just short
Halle
hair
Berry.
situations because you know a lot for a long time in that era, everybody's number one was Tony Braxton.
yes.
Something about that short hair
Tony was up there.
was just like,
So Anita didn't do it for you?
oh no, Anita absolutely did. Don't touch. You know that's like mom love type shit. You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna say, Anita was like
10-year-old
everybody's
milk hunting.
auntie.
That's 10-year-old milk.
So
hunting.
Tony Braxton over Jada Pinkett.
Yes.
There you go.
Which Tony Braxton? Which Tony Braxton?
Don't matter.
That was two.
Babyface Tony Braxton or baby?
It don't matter. We talking about the era. Tony Braxton of that era versus Jada of that era.
Tony Braxton.
It's Tony Braxton hands down.
Yeah, Tony Braxton.
Wait.
Yeah, man.
And I was never a fan of her music, but Tony Braxton.
I missed the bad. Where's the bad Tony Braxton? Did I miss it? Did I whatever was she bad? Because he acted like there was a Tony Braxton that nobody would put on their list. Like where was she? Wherever was bad. You was like, where's Tony Braxton in it? Like was she a crackhead one time? We forgot.
I'm just saying. Yeah. You're right. She's still bad. She's still bad.
But then, even my wife knows.
Yeah, man. There was a run of R&B singers that were just no joke.
I say, even my wife knows Queen Latifah at one time became number one. Then it went to Jill Scott, and she knows about that one too.
Nah, Jill Scott for me, boy. Jill Scott for me, yeah. Yeah.
Jill Scott is not a nice person. I'm gonna just leave it at that.
See, and you know
wow.
You know what's crazy, Tyrone? What's crazy? The more people that like people that I've gotten to know from Philly over the years, people have had run-ins with her. They either said something like that or something else about her that was like, oh,
I know
word? Like,
I ain't gonna say the other thing. That's a belt we don't need to go under. But
right. But that just is those things is like is literally was just like, oh, really? You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying what it is, whatever, but again, I'll just say once again, my wife knows about that one. You know what I'm saying?
That's a hall pass.
Nah, I can't say it was a hall pass. Well, maybe because for my wife
Jill
keeping
Scott,
it in
Jill
Philly.
Scott's top 5 dead or alive, boy.
I'd say for my wife keeping it in Philly, her and her fascination with Boyz II Men, that's like an eternal crush situation for her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Boyz II Men.
Same here. My cousin, she's like a sister to me. Yeah, she went to school with one of them, same class and everything. So yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, no, he mentioned hall pass, right? And I just was realistically thinking about that. Now, a hall pass is not because okay, just say that if you really got a hall pass and you really could get that person, let's say if it's like one of those superstars and you really could get them, right? If you can get that person in that one night instance for your hall pass over your wife, right? What if that person want to take you? Like what if Holly said, "Hey, I want to keep you," Now you're mad.
Now it's funny. It's funny.
What do you do?
It's funny the name you mentioned because that doesn't seem like that. Just seems like that's a one night hall pass and that's it. Because there's been a dose of crazy that came out under that name over the years. That it's like, yeah, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? For y'all, that wouldn't be one for me. But I'm just saying for y'all that I would really have to have y'all brothers really think life over.
But I'm just saying.
Dan is speaking on for himself. Because yeah, I'll be packing. I'm gonna fucking pack up the fucking PlayStation.
Your man's like in Harlem Nights. You calling the house, sunshine?
Put your mother on the phone.
And then a year later,
take it easy.
And then a year later, we're gonna be talking about Big O's trying to find a place to live again.
Well, you gotta be realistic, right? She's your hall pass, so she's one of the most beautiful women to you in the entire world. She's usually a star, so she's got all the money you need to succeed. And she might have put that thing on you too. And now she wants you to come with her. And you're looking at your wife like, I mean.
Ty, don't get it twisted. If the shoe was on the other foot and then your wife was in that situation, she might bounce too.
Nah. Yeah,
she might bounce too. You gotta deal with that from the other side.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? With Denzel, my wife gonna write me a check. You know what I mean? Me's gonna get over there and send a nigga a check back.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now. If my wife had a contingency plan with Denzel or Tay Diggs or whoever, yeah, I'm already got the fucking contingency plan in my head. Like, okay, all right, so she ain't never coming back. So this is what I need to do. I'm already 2 steps ahead of that shit.
All I would say for y'all is like if y'all were to end up in that type of situation, there's a role model that y'all can follow that it might be able to keep y'all in line. Y'all niggas need to just act like Stedman and do as The Rock said. Know your role and shut your mouth.
Know your role. Know your role, dogs.
Yeah, Stedman is a mute.
Yo, if you think about it, he knows his role. He knows his role to the point where you see him in pictures now, and you're like, yo, damn, this nigga's still around. You know what I'm saying? That's how good he knows his role. Man.
But like we all know about him, we all know who he is. But the interesting thing is like when you see the pictures of them two, like it doesn't look controlling. Like she actually like absolutely looks like she's happy around him, you know what I'm saying? And they do what they got to do, and they're still not married, but there's still a situation. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I think most people would, again, it would behoove you to not act like a Stedman if you got caught up in one of them situations. You know what I'm saying?
Bro,
you are not the star.
What's that bread like for Stedman?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
He gets his own.
What's that bread looking like for Stedman?
Money, he gets his own.
Dude, if Stedman's being Stedman is the easiest man on the planet to be. Like Stedman don't have to do shit, but just stand tall sometimes and look. That's all Stedman got to do the rest of his life. He don't got to do no interviews. He don't really got to go to work. I know he a man and he got his own little shit going on, but he ain't got to work. He ain't got to do nothing. It's just like when they just go.
Tyrone, maybe now it is, but in the beginning, you think it was that way?
No, oh no. But I mean, Stedman got on Oprah's back, literally, and rolled it out.
Again, I think from the beginning. Shit. See, again, I think from the beginning, Stedman knew his role and played his role accordingly, and that's why they're still to our eye, they're still what they are to this day.
Still rocking.
You know what I'm saying? But
well said.
It don't hurt to be second, y'all. That's when we had that man episode. Sometimes you gotta put your ego to the side. I put my ego to the side in many ways in my relationship because
I know what I suck at. You gotta put that shit to the side to make
I
shit
would have
work.
said Talladega Nights, man. If you're not first, you're last.
But how does that work in this though?
Yeah, nah. You listen.
No, explain how this works in that kind of
No,
situation.
You're right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, man. I mean, yo, Oprah is as far as black women goes, who's more successful? And I hate to use the word because successful and wealthiest sometimes can be two different things.
They
You
are
know, who right. So who makes more than Oprah as a black woman? You know, it's very few if you're up there.
Kathy
You
Hughes
know,
is up
if you
there.
pass that. Say again, who?
I say Kathy Hughes is up there. I think she owns was it the TV One network?
But here's it. But
Of
here's
radio and shit like that and TV.
here's my thing with the whole how much money you have don't mean how much successful you are, right? So like say like you have a woman or a man who's daddy, like say if you was like Vince McMahon's son, right? And you inherited the WWE and you still win and it's still $1 billion company, right? But say I'm somebody who like is a movie star or TV guy that you got way more money than me and you successful in your company, but you inherited it from your daddy. Whereas I might have less money than you, but I'm making my money doing something like I'm actually a successful actor. You weren't really successful at nothing. So just because you're running a successful business and you got more money than me, I'm more successful than you because I'm actually successful at doing something. You know what I mean?
I have to agree with you on that.
Here's the thing. Stedman is not moving like a dude that could be replaced any minute. You know what I'm saying? He's not moving in fear that his spot could be taken tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not moving like, if I fuck up, she's going to cut me off and then the next dude's going to come in and it's over for me. He's not moving like that. At least from the appearance that I'm getting from it. Like, I'm sure he's had arguments or disagreements with Oprah behind the scenes that we don't know about. You know what I'm saying? That's just going to happen naturally with being with a person for that long. It doesn't seem like he's walking on eggshells when he's around her, or like he's looking sus, or like he's got nervousness. You know what I'm saying?
But yo, TJ, that also says a lot about Stedman's partner, right? Because you can have an argument or whatever, and
he's not making them feel that way.
You're not right. You're not fucking going to your publicist like, yo, I need to do an interview and say how this nigga fucking up, how this nigga Stedman fucking up. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's why
right.
That's why old girl is being villainized the way she is. Because it's like, yo, Will has never said anything bad about you. You know what I'm saying? And here it is now. You know,
she keeps it in house. Oprah's very in-house person. She's like she keeps all of her shit in house.
But the truth
is, end of the day, it's not our business. We don't care. You know, most of us in our age bracket, we don't care how Oprah's relationship life is doing. We don't fucking care.
The truth,
you know what I'm saying?
The truth is, for real, is that certain people at a certain status can't treat you like that because they can't even say it because it's like, duh. Like when Beyonce did that song, you know, the Irreplaceable, right? And she was like, don't you ever think you're not irreplaceable? It's like, you're Beyonce and you're singing about a bum ass dude, right? So now it's like, we all know, like my hands up. I volunteered to come up in there. So we all know that you're irreplaceable. So if Oprah was to do an interview to say, oh, I can get another man, like if she even did anything to make Stedman feel that way, she would look bad because she's over. Anybody take that position, you know what I mean? So you ain't saying nothing. So now we would know you're just trying to put Stedman out there. You're just trying to play my man. That's all you're doing.
So I totally agree.
Word. That does make sense.
100%.
So final word is it's okay to be a Stedman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Yes, it is.
It's okay to be a Stedman.
I'm good at it.
Put your fucking ego to the side and team game. Be a team player. It's that easy. Just like our games of the week before we wrap this up. Last
So
week,
you said you wanted to talk about people saying that about players and athletes who ain't win nothing.
oh
Right.
yeah. Let's have that conversation real quick. You definitely remembered that because you wanted to argue. I could see it. But
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
no, personally, like I said, let's get through the games of the week real quick, and then we'll get to that because it is sports related. So, games of the week last week: Cowboys, Chargers. Chargers lost to the Cowboys by 3, 20-17, and the Giants tried to beat the Bills, almost beat the Bills, but lost 14-9. This week, games of the week: tonight, Eagles, Dolphins. Tomorrow, 49ers, Vikings. Tyrone, we're going to start with tonight's game. What you got?
Now, normally I would just be able to say, "Hey, I'm picking the other team because the Eagles hate is real." But tonight, I'm really legit going to pick the Dolphins. I really think that the Eagles don't. I still think that the Eagles are not where they want to be, and I think that the Dolphins can pull it off. And I think this is really going to send the Eagles back into their reality that they're not as good as they think they are.
TJ?
Well, you know how I feel about the NFC East. So, but in agreement with what Ty was saying, like after that debacle against the Jets, and the Dolphins have a way better quarterback than what the Jets trotted out there, and a much better offense than what the Jets trotted out there. It's not looking good for the Eagles tonight. Their defense is going to really have to step up, and he's really. I know the Jets secondary is strong, but he's really going to have to. He's going to have to play a mistake-free football game for the Eagles to have a chance. But I'm going to Dolphins. The Dolphins by 10 tonight.
I'm going to keep it close, but of course you don't go with my Eagles, especially because of bringing out the Kelly Greens tonight. But I mean, to be honest with you, the only thing I think both offenses are can be pretty even. And I only say that with the exception of we have the better running back situation. They have the fastest man in the NFL. After that, it's almost even. Defensively, I think we're better. It's just a matter of how well do we slow down the cheetah tonight. You know, we can make Jalen Waddle a non-factor if possible, in my opinion. Raheem Mostert's not gonna, we have the best rushing defense in the league. The Jets only scored one touchdown last week because we let them. We lost that game by field goals, even with Jalen Hurts' mistakes, if you think about it. We lost that game by field goals. And because we let them score because of the time situation,
right?
We still had an opportunity to win the game, but we shit the bed. We shit the bed, and I like the fact that we shit the bed this early in the season the way we did because it can only be up from here for a team with the quality of talent that we have. So I'm sticking with my Eagles. I can't say, of course.
Dan, real quick before you pass it on, they don't look as dominant as they did last year. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. There's just certain areas where we do look dominant, which is when Swift is running the ball consistently, he's very hard to stop. And then 4th and 1s, we might have got stopped once or twice this whole season.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But no, we're not looking as aggressively dominant as we did last year, where we was scoring an average of, I think, 33, 34 points a game. Tonight can be that kind of shootout kind of game. Tua is not a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts. He's not a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts. Let's just see how that Dolphins offensive line holds up.
You think you say Tua's not a better quarterback because Hurts can run the ball?
No,
Is
not a
that
better
why?
quarterback, just overall.
You
Talent
don't
wise,
you think Hurts is a better passer than Tua?
yes.
Wow.
I
Okay.
think
Who's putting up better numbers?
right now it's Tua.
Passing numbers.
Right now it's probably Tua. And I didn't even look at
The Dolphins are on a historic rate of offense right now. It's ridiculous what they're doing.
right. And then go look at who they played, look at all the matchups, things like that, yada yada yada, and you can put it together from there. But always the pick is yours.
It's tough, man. I strategically went on FanDuel and did not pick this game because I thought it was gonna be too fucking close. I gotta go with the Eagles, man, because the Eagles defense is better than the Dolphins defense. You know, that defensive line the Eagles have is, come on. I mean,
And-
two of my is gonna have to be on the skates tonight.
And we've been creating pressure without blitzing.
Mhm.
That's where the defense really is. When that's where the difference is with the defenses. We've been creating pressure on that defensive line without blitzing. Other teams had to blitz us to get the pressures that they do. We barely blitz, and we're getting dominant pressure. And Julio Jones, the new addition, is not going
Oh,
to really be.
shit.
He's not going to really be a factor tonight. The only thing
Or any other night.
well, we'll see, because the one thing that I like about the move is just depth. It just adds a level of depth. He doesn't have to stay on the field as often to keep himself susceptible to get hurt.
You hear how that man was talking? He ain't there for that add no levels of depth. He wants to play. He wants to get the ball. He's out here saying, y'all going to see what I can do. And if they don't pass it to him, if he can't do nothing, then you watch. He's going to be a cancer in that locker room as soon as he don't get enough passes through a game. And
We'll
that's what I
see.
think.
We'll see. But I don't ever remember Julio being that quote unquote cancer in any locker room.
Yeah,
But
but
because he was the number one option. He was like the only option in
right.
some
So,
situations, especially when he was
he
in
didn't have
Atlanta.
that beef. He didn't have that beef. But
He
now
didn't
he's
have
coming
that.
to Philly.
He couldn't have the same beef in Tennessee because Ryan Tannehill was barely able to get him the ball because and you know what I'm saying. And that's not saying that Ryan Tannehill's a terrible quarterback. I'm just saying that Tennessee team offensively, I mean, he even lost a step where he couldn't get open the same way.
What I'm saying to you,
in an Eagles situation, red zone deficiency was where we've been having a problem offensively. Jump balls could be his all day.
I'm saying that statement of him adding depth to the team, he don't take too kindly to that. He don't like that. So that's not what
You're saying that, but we'll see.
No, that's basically what he said. That's basically when they did that interview with him, he was basically like, y'all about to see what I can do. Like he was on some TO type time. He wasn't on no add depth to the team type time.
The opportunity is
there. But yo, I was gonna say, Tyrone, he's not better than he's at best the fourth best receiver on our team.
Third. AJ Brown,
okay.
Devontae Smith, then
him. Okay.
But we'll see. Like I said, this is a shout out to JP. I'm using his lingo right now, but we'll see.
How is he doing?
JP's doing good. To add on, he's got a podcast coming out, which originally it was gonna be the return and expansion of the Star 5 network, but they're gonna do their own thing. So good luck to them. Good luck to them and whatever they're gonna get ready to do. Next game.
Okay.
Niners Vikings tomorrow night. Big O, you were last time. You're first now.
Niners.
Same.
Niners.
I think the Vikings are gonna put up a good fight. They're gonna keep the score close, but it might be a field goal win for the 49ers, Tyrone.
I was all Niners, and then I realized what happened to the Niners last week against the Browns, and I was like, Vikings are a good team. The Vikings are kind of desperate. The Niners didn't look too good last week. So just based on the desperation, I'm going to say the Vikings win by 3.
TJ, are you getting ice right now?
You got a knife for his cigar?
Well, he's all right. We'll get his pick when we come back while we talk about this conversation here. Because good mentioning Julio Jones, and you think about a player like him. I mentioned Tennessee. You think about a player like a Derrick Henry, or even when you bring it to NBA times, you bring it to my guy Patrick Ewing and Charles Barkley, shit like that. You always have arguments with people that say, oh, this person never won nothing. That person never won nothing. What exactly is not winning anything? What exactly is that? Because I'm sorry, you could spend most of your career on a team that is a consistent, over 500 team their whole career. You know what I'm saying? You're a team that's consistently in the playoffs, every other year, every few years, your team might win a division. But only a tiny, tiny percent of every league is it where a team and everybody on that team becomes a champion. And people use that saying of, but they didn't win nothing as an argument or as defense in trying to diminish a certain player's abilities and the way a certain player plays. They use that saying of, they didn't win nothing. They didn't win. I'm sorry. I was NFC East champion 5 out of the 10 years I played in the league. Yeah, I didn't win a Super Bowl, but I was NFC champion 5 out of the 10 years in the league. I got 1 league MVP. You know what I'm saying? I got Pro Bowls all 10 years. But are you trying to say I never won nothing because I didn't win a championship? The Tyrone, I'm giving it straight to you because I feel you have the most pushback.
Not winning a championship is 100%. It destroys your legacy. It's 100% detrimental to your legacy. I don't care. It's not me saying it. It's just facts. It's just facts that people who have won are always going to be ranked higher than people who have not won. And we're talking about championships, because other than winning the championship, you can't win nothing else.
Pause. You just muted yourself. Pause real quick. So Trent Dilfer is better than Donovan McNabb.
Trent Dilfer is not better than Donovan McNabb.
Okay,
right?
so that just destroyed every. Keep going. That destroys everything you're saying about this. But keep going.
No, it doesn't.
Keep going.
No, it doesn't. Because there's exceptions to the rule. Because guess what? Eli Manning. No, look. Okay, so what about Eli Manning? Eli Manning's not better than Donovan McNabb.
Hey.
Eli Manning. Eli Manning is going to get ranked above Donovan McNabb on every poll you ever look at, because he's won 2 championships and Donovan didn't. If Donovan won 2 championships and they was even, Eli would be ranked below Donovan. He's ranked above him because he won. You gonna say
statistically he was better too. Statistically, he was better than Donovan McNabb as well.
Y'all go with statistics. We talking about playing. Was Eli Manning a better football player than Donovan McNabb? If you watch them play,
yes. Yes.
No,
the eye test. No, the eye test says Donovan McNabb. But once you break down analytics and statistics and all of that, and fourth quarter.
All you have to do is watch that championship game against the San Francisco 49ers in San Francisco, where Eli was getting clobbered by one of the best defenses in the NFL at that time. And who stepped up and did his damn thing? Eli Manning.
Don't forget the Green Bay game.
End of story. Case over. It's over.
Don't forget the Green Bay game. When it comes
in Green Bay, on the road.
Bay, yes. I would take Eli
Something McNabb could never do. He had 1 shot in the Super Bowl, and that was it. That was it.
And to go back to the basketball analogy, Robert Horry is not better than Charles Barkley. You know what I'm saying? And Robert Horry got what now? 5 rings? 4 or 5 rings?
7 rings.
Something like, yeah, exactly. He's not better than Charles Barkley, statistically wise.
But
You
that's
know,
the
I mean,
problem.
basketball. This analogy breaks down better because it's best of seven.
But it
Um,
doesn't. But it doesn't. Oh, because once again, when you throw Robert Ory, when everybody loves to make the championship comparison with Michael Jordan, let's go to most people's top dog. Everybody loves to make the championship comparison to Michael Jordan. Bill Russell got 11 of them things, but people will still say Michael Jordan was better.
Yeah,
Robert Ory's got
but
seven.
that's
Robert Ory's got 7 of them things, but we'll
Dan,
still go say that they're better than Michael Jordan.
because then you want to know why? Because when it comes to your legacy, right? When it comes to your ranking, right? You have to have enough skills to outweigh the championships. You have to have enough skills to outweigh the championship. Nobody's going to say Bill Russell was better than Michael Jordan because Michael Jordan had enough skill to outweigh
So,
Bill
so
Russell.
you making my point
That's,
for me, Ty,
that's,
because
that's not
Eli
every day.
Manning won 2 Super Bowls. 2,
And
not
so,
1. I can see if he won 1.
Donovan
He
McNabb
won
is not,
2 Super
and that's
Bowls.
why Donovan McNabb is not
2.
skillful. Donovan McNabb is not skillful enough to outweigh Eli Manning's 2 championships. So them championships matter because if Eli Manning had not had them 2 championships, nobody would rank him above Donovan McNabb. No one.
Here's why this is a
But
terrible.
he had to do something to get to those 2 championships. It wasn't, and I know football's a team game, but he contributed to those 2 championships.
And that's why I was going to say
he had to do something to get them there.
And that's why I was going to say that argument when it comes to team sports is terrible because it's a team game. It's a team game. The media, sports writers and everything just thinking on the quarterback position. They made the quarterback position the sexy position. They made the quarterback position if you don't have one of these calibers, you're not that person. But again, when you say the whole, but they didn't win nothing, so they ain't better than, that means Jeff Hostetler is better than Donovan McNabb. We all know that ain't true. That means Mark Rippon is better than Donovan McNabb. I'm sorry. Yes, Eli Manning won 2 championships, but at the purest of the quarterback position, he is not a better football player than Donovan McNabb. But when you put the scope of the team at play, guess what happens? The team aspect makes it look better than what they did, which it's true. My Philadelphia Eagles had the shot at that time in 2004. We lost by a field goal. But your Giants was the first teams to beat them, that Dynasty Patriots team, because it's a team thing. But then you're not going to sit back and then tell me, again, or even all right, people who did win. And this is where, I get what you're saying, Tyrone. That shit goes to the ranking of whatever arbitrary list you're trying to make up to say who's better than the other, who reached the final goal and how many times they achieved said final goal. You know what I'm saying? But there's certain players out there, you're not going to Michael Vick, better all-around athlete, maybe not better quarterback play as far as passing is concerned than, say, Eli Manning. But if you were to line them up in the draft, no championships, most people will probably take Michael Vick over Eli Manning.
Absolutely. But here's the thing.
But
the year that the Giants won their first championship, Eli Manning had the most fourth-quarter comebacks in the league.
But
you cannot discount that. You can't discount that.
But that's not a historical measurable thing. That's an ESPN stat. But you can't discount that because it happened. You can't discount it because it happened. But
here's what I was gonna say. I'm sorry, Tyrone. Here's what I was gonna say. No one is bringing up, and we're all knowledgeable here. No one is bringing up that the Donovan McNabb era ran side by side with the Eli Manning era. You know what I'm saying? So at the time,
don't have to say that because we know it.
Right. We're saying it for our fans right now. We're saying it for people watching, who don't know. Eli Manning era, and this is where the fourth quarter comebacks and everything plays a part. You know, and this is why I feel as though it's bigger than an ESPN stat because it happened. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
not like
Like,
he wasn't statistically in the top 10 either. He was there.
and they were
And
these were the Giants were the eighth, what was it, 6th seed and 8th seed
Yo,
when they won Super Bowls.
here's the problem. McNabb dominated that era. McNabb dominated that era.
Thank you.
He was a
When it
consistent
did
top
not
5
count.
quarterback almost
He
each and every
dominated
year.
that era. And
How
Eli
did he
is
playoffs,
only
though?
mentioned in the same breath as him because of those 2 championships, bro. That's the only reason why we mention Eli
But how,
was dominant.
but how did he do in the playoffs though?
He lost.
You're
That's why
right.
we. That's
Oh,
why
okay,
right,
okay,
no.
okay,
That's why
okay,
No,
Donovan
but-
is not ring time.
okay.
The point of this conversation is though, what people will use, knowing that Donovan McNabb has consistently within that whole era was always generally a top 5 quarterback unless injured. But we'll say,
yeah,
we'll throw in his face, yeah, but you didn't win nothing to
Right.
diminish how great he was as a player.
Yes.
When
Just
it counted,
Oakland.
when
yeah,
it
I
counted,
get what you're
when it
saying there.
counted,
I get
you
what you're
lost.
saying there.
That counts. That's part of
When
it.
it counted though, you lost.
That's part of it. When it counts, you lost. That's part of it. Don't compare people that's incomparable. You can't compare Donovan McNabb to Trent Dilfer. They're not comparable. But
Right.
what you
But
can
he
do
won.
is
Doing that.
No,
but you
I
can't
did
compare him to
because
Trent
no,
Dilfer.
no.
They're not comparable as far as talent is concerned. You compare him to somebody that you know is way less talented than him. Trent
It's-
Dilfer's championship is not enough to elevate him over Donovan McNabb. But Eli
it's-
Manning is.
No.
So championships still matter.
I know what you're saying. But I always roll back to those names because this is how stupid. This is not saying we're having a dumb conversation, but this is how dumb in my book the argument of yeah, but you didn't win nothing is. Because
Okay.
again, let's go back to basketball. Eddie Curry again. We can't compare Eddie Curry to fucking Patrick Ewing. We can't compare Greg Oden, who has championships, compared to Patrick Ewing. But people will consistently just to bash us Knicks say, yeah, but Patrick Ewing didn't win anything. Okay, but these other bum ass centers who suck did win. So it's like if you're comparing winning at the start of the conversation, they're valid because they won. If you're using that to lead the conversation, everything is fair game because these people won. That should be at the end or in the back or only used for if you are discussing, say, the NBA top 75 type player. If you are using that in ranking, then you go from there. You know what I'm saying? But even with that, there's certain players that would still be better than with no chips than people who did win chips, but would be within that top 75.
Allen Iverson.
But
You
then, can I
understand what
say
I'm
something?
saying?
Can I say something there? Basketball to me is different because basketball plays the best of 7. If Super Bowl was best of 3, this would be a whole different conversation we have it. That's why with Dominique Wilkins not making a top 50 or top 75, it's a travesty because Atlanta Hawks made the playoffs in the 90s. They was in the playoffs every fucking year, whether it was 5th seed or 8th seed. They made the playoffs every year.
But Dominique Wilkins' injury was his worst enemy.
But he was the first one. But he was the first one to come back from Achilles and still make the All-Star team. And then Kevin Durant did it.
Right.
So it's
right. But that's the point that you're building on the point that I'm making, because we would in turn diminish a Dominique Wilkins because he didn't win anything, But then now in turn you did win something, and they're criticizing you because you won. Kevin Durant, the other name you mentioned. You know what I'm saying? Which
you're right, because Kevin Durant didn't win shit until he got to Golden State. So you know what I'm saying? It's just like
he made, still in my opinion, the best business decision that you could fucking make.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And he hasn't won shit since he left Golden State either. Like he hasn't even been close to sniffing it.
Kevin Durant proves my point too, right? Kevin Durant, great player, right? Didn't win shit. And that's what they talked to him about. Kevin Durant didn't win shit. Kevin Durant can never be the best player in the NBA because he never won nothing. Then, soon as Kevin Durant won a couple of championships, all of a sudden, has Kevin Durant surpassed LeBron as the best player in the NBA? Because them championships validated him more. Them championships took
You're right.
him.
You're right in said conversations, but people were calling Kevin Durant the best player in the league on and off before he won championships. All they were saying is that he didn't get that icing on the cake yet.
Because he was a loser.
Well, then everybody's a loser, with the exception of a small, like I said, the percentage is probably like within the 1 to 5% of people who actually win championships.
And the 1 to 5% of people who win championships are the people who go on your GOAT list.
No, not all the way. Because again, you're only taking when you think about
because the last person on the bench of a championship team is not a GOAT.
Exactly.
The last person on the bench of your team is not a GOAT, bro.
You're only taking 1 or 2 pieces out of that equation.
Y'all playing spin doctor. Y'all know the people
on
on the bench.
No, this is right in the face. No spin.
Who talks about the people on the bench? No one. They don't even get brought up.
They got a ring though. They got a ring.
You understand my fucking
That makes them better than
They got a ring.
We talking about
Leandro Barbosa got a ring. Raja Bell got a ring.
That's why I said Eddie fucking Curry, I think, got a ring on the bench in Miami. Greg
Yes,
Oden
he did. Yes, he did.
Off the bench in Miami. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what we're talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Is you don't, when we think of a team game, you everybody says they just see the biggest names that everybody talks about, and then everybody else is just everybody else. But no,
look, there's a guy on the Knicks right now. There's a guy on the Knicks right now that has a ring. Didn't even play in the chip. His name is Dante DiVincenzo. Got a ring with the Bucks. Nobody remembers that he won a ring with the Bucks until they bring it up and says he was the guy that was injured, that was on the team.
People who knew White Dante was out there.
Here's how I'll make my point, right?
He played some minutes.
Here's how I'll make my point. I'm not saying that a championship can win you every argument, because of course a championship, I'm saying that it matters. Winning matters. Winning the championship matters because it elevates you. Trent Dilfer's name would not have been brought up on this podcast today at all had he not won that one championship. We ain't bringing him up because he was a good player. We only bringing him up because that championship elevated him from bum to at least somebody we can mention. Okay? So if
it doesn't validate his career, though. It doesn't validate him, though. It doesn't validate him.
It brings him up on the social ladder of who we think is top people. We would never even know. We wouldn't even remember Trent Dilfer had he not won that one championship. Makes him memorable. Makes him be able to be
a decent quarterback. I just want to put it out there. He was
serviceable. But again, Tyrone, because in a way you're still making my point. We bring these names up of people who win championships because when you try to truly compare them against another athlete of the same position, how much does that championship put them over somebody else? And people love to use that argument of, yeah, but such and such didn't win nothing. But like, oh, even better. Dan Marino didn't win a motherfucking thing. But do you view him as one of the greatest quarterbacks the league has ever seen still? Absolutely.
He's on the same level as Charles Barkley.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Listen, you cannot use, I'm going to say this in the layman's terms. You cannot use something to win an argument. You're saying people use championships to win arguments. You cannot use championships to win an argument if there's not an argument. Case in point, if you're comparing Charles Barkley to Tim Duncan, you can use championships to win an argument because there's an argument there. If you're comparing Charles Barkley to Charles Oakley, and Charles Oakley had a championship, you cannot use a championship to win that argument.
Hey. So I have a question. Why you gotta use Knicks player? Tyrone Hill. What happened to Tyrone Hill?
Well, you
see, why use Charles Oakley?
but see now, look at this again. This is why, once again, that saying of, yeah, but they didn't win shit is stupid. Did you hear all the lyrical gymnastics you just had to play to just kind of prove my point on why saying of why saying, well, because they didn't win, nothing makes no
Yeah.
it counts.
You
It
can't
only
say that.
counts for a point like 8% of the top 1%.
It's,
Because
it's
Dan,
money.
because
Hold on.
Dan, I was waiting for you to say that. What was this one part? Tim Duncan and Charles Barkley, their playoff, their stats are similar. You know what I'm saying? Forget watching tape or watching
That's
them
what
play. It's similar, and the only thing you could freaking differentiate the two is the rings.
that's the point that I'm making. So you
Yeah.
can't throw it in Charles Barkley. Yeah, but you didn't win nothing. Like that's a slap in the. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm saying it like people say that shit like it's a derogatory word. Like they're calling you a bitch. They're calling you a mo and all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? They use it in that way. But in reality, I'm with Tyrone and I'm with what you just said. If you are comparing that 0.5% of the 0.1% who've actually even at least seen what the top, close to the top of the mountain, or is perceived to be within this said top players ever, then if you are using it to build a ranking, then you rank them. But I'm sorry, like I said, you mentioned I'll mention Trent Dilfer. I'll mention fucking again what the fuck the
Jeff
dude
Hostetler.
Mark Rippon, Jeff Hostetler. Like you're not even considering them as a top player, but they won something. You know what I'm saying? So when you lead your argument of saying, "Oh well, this player ain't win," and that so they suck, but you know this player over here sucked, but they did win. Like that's why I just say that saying doesn't equate.
Sometimes sucky players win, bro.
Exactly.
Sometimes sucky players win.
It only really works. It only really works in that arbitrary few when you are trying to rank the quote unquote greats of the greats. You know what I'm saying? That's why I mentioned Bill Russell, Michael Jordan. Yeah, both of them won, but people will still put Michael Jordan over Bill Russell when Bill Russell got 11 of them things. You know what I'm saying?
Also, we're forgetting the thing. Errors matter. Errors matter.
Too. Yes.
So when the Bill Russell era was nothing to the Michael Jordan era, was nothing to the Steph Curry era. You know what I'm saying? Like
and
the game was different. The rules changed. It evolved. You got all this stuff that happened in between.
Era.
And how many legendary athletes are still Hall of Famers from those eras that didn't win anything?
That's fact.
Well, here's my issue with that. What I'm saying to you is quite simple, right? I can still use that argument against anybody that you want to put top rank that didn't win because they didn't win. And that was diminishes them. That was allows me to say that anybody that I think is better than them is better than them. Now, it's got to be comparable, though. I have to have an argument. Whereas, like, if I say Tim Duncan is better than Charles Barkley and you want to say Charles Barkley is better, I can say Charles Barkley ain't win shit. And that's a legit diminishing of him. If I'm saying he's a bum, am I saying he's garbage? No. But not winning a championship is a legit diminishing of your career. I don't care.
Can I jump in real quick? Can I jump in? I'm sorry. Can I jump in?
Go ahead.
Because all right. So here's I think me and Dan's argument, rebuttal to what you're saying. When you line up Tim Duncan and Charles Barkley, right? You go points, rebounds, assists, block shots, and you see that their numbers are close. And Tim Duncan may have one, Charles Barkley may have one, whatever the case is. But when you get down to rings, you know, Tim Duncan will have 4, and then Charles Barkley will have 0. So that's the part where you're like, okay, this is why we say that Tim Duncan is better than Charles Barkley.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's not, and it's still not. It's still not a big fucking disparity between the two.
But that's the point that I'm trying to make. Where again, the way Tyrone put it out there was like, I'm laying this in the front. Fuck you, you ain't won shit. But when you compare, when you sit down and break it down, it's like, okay, no, It's not that you didn't. No, you didn't win shit. No, you are Charles Barkley's a former league MVP. I'm sorry, you won something. You won something. You know what I'm saying? But you just didn't make you didn't make it to the pinnacle. So this is where I will then put Tim Duncan over Charles Barkley. I mean, and
you
then
know what?
But that's
hold
that's,
on.
Go ahead, TJ. Go ahead.
Are you discounting that Charles Barkley didn't have a better team than Tim Duncan's team, though?
No,
Because there was no Manu
that's
Ginobili,
also-
there was no Tony Parkers,
and
there was
that's-
no Robert Ory's, there was none. You know what I'm saying? You can't. Are you discounting that as well?
That's the other argument to why this is harder in team sports to disrespect somebody by saying, yeah, but you ain't win shit as like the overarching thing. You go in the point that O made is to me where you can use that, okay, but you didn't win a championship. It's if you're comparing player to player,
Yeah.
and what they've achieved player to player. Of
Right.
course, it matters. That's why it's harder to say that against somebody who played a team game. If you're going in the world of tennis where it's you versus the world, that's different. That's different. Oh, yeah, fucking Peter Novak or whatever fucking, yeah, you ain't win shit compared to fucking Nadal over here. No, yeah, he literally didn't win shit.
Yo, y'all realize we're gonna have this conversation again in another 5 years with Jokic and Embiid. It's the same shit. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, Jokic is gonna have the rings, and Embiid is gonna have. We don't know. We don't know. It's still the future's still playing out. But that's the way it's looking right now. It's still replaying itself.
And if Jokic ends up with 3 rings and Embiid ends up with none, Jokic is the clear winner. And it ain't going to be no doubt about it. And not many people can because he's got the championship.
But
he can say to Embiid, you ain't win shit.
He's the clear winner of championships, yes.
Right.
But statistically, Embiid is better.
Comparable.
Embiid finishes better.
No one's going to say that Embiid was better than Jokic if Jokic got 3 championships and their careers are comparable. It's just like y'all making my argument.
The man is a walking triple-double, though. You got to admit that. The man's a walking triple-double every night, and Embiid is not that.
Charles Barkley and Tim Duncan's careers are comparable.
That's my argument for those two.
Hold on. Charles Barkley and Tim Duncan's careers are comparable, right? But nobody will ever rank Charles Barkley above Tim Duncan only because Tim Duncan had them championships. If Tim Duncan didn't have the 5 championships, some people might rank Charles Barkley above Tim Duncan.
If Tim Duncan just had 1, I still believe Tim Duncan was the greatest power forward ever. Because of what he did on that, court on a night in and night out basis. Forget the championship.
Without him, where does he go? Without him, where does he go?
And for how long he did it.
Even
for how long he did it.
That's why I say, even if it was just 1 and not the 5 that he has, even if it was just 1, 0, I probably would still rank him high.
You would rank him above Karl Malone with no
because of what he did on a night in and night out basis.
You would rank him above Karl Malone with no championship?
Yes.
How?
Yes. And the only thing for me, Karl Malone would have over him is being a higher scorer.
Because he was a better offensive player.
Just a higher scorer. I'm taking Tim Duncan's game over almost anybody's at the power forward position, with the exception of a LeBron flexing into the power forward. That's all I'm saying. Go ahead,
Tavon. I would. If you were just watching box scores, I would say Karl Malone is the best power forward ever played. Karl Malone, the only thing that Karl Malone had over Tim Duncan was Karl Malone in his early years, he was explosive as hell, and Karl Malone was always the strongest power forward that played the game. You know what I'm saying? So Tim Duncan,
strongest looking maybe. But
maybe strongest looking. I mean, yeah, Charles Oakley might have something to say about that. But Tim Duncan was fundamentally sound, like big fundamental. That was not a term that motherfuckers just threw around. It's because he had twice as many moves as fucking Kevin McHale. And before he stepped on the court, we thought Kevin McHale was the best power forward that ever played the game. You
But
know,
you're right. Oh, his court awareness, you know what I'm saying? The ability to pass out of double teams, like to get other
yes,
players involved. That's why I say Jokic is a better player than Embiid because he's a walking
but
triple double. He makes his
but
team better. He brings the whole team up.
Tim
Malone
Duncan,
didn't bring the whole team up. He brought in Stockton
yeah,
himself did it, but they didn't elevate
I
the
wouldn't say
players around him. You know what I'm saying?
yes,
That's why they
yes.
were limited in what they were doing.
Tim Duncan he came to a perfect storm. That Spurs offense, you know, when he was drafted,
It was a
we knew how
machine.
good he was in Wake Forest. We knew how good he was in Wake Forest. And you came in to play under David Robinson for a couple of years. Everything was perfect for you because Tony Parker was learning with you, Ginobili was learning with you, and these are all Hall of Fame players. You know, so
Well, they weren't.
everything happened.
They,
It was a perfect
they
storm
were.
for
They eventually developed into Hall of Fame players.
yes,
They weren't
yes,
Hall of Fame players at that time.
absolutely
And
not.
like you said, perfect storm. But again, this goes into why that saying of yeah, but you didn't win shit is dumb when it comes to team sports because you
Yeah,
gotta look at the team as a whole. But to
yes,
back what Tyrone said, the one place I agree with that is if you are ranking everybody but not putting the overarching onus of your importance or what you've done in the league by championships. Too many people, the point that I've been trying to make out of all of this is too many people try to start conversations with how many rings you got first. It was like the saying back in the day when it came to rap music. Yeah, but you ain't got no platinum albums. You a shitty rapper who got platinum albums because you found the niche to make one song pop.
yeah,
You know
hot
what I'm
song.
saying?
Yeah,
You got one hot song, you was able to have a platinum album. Like somebody dared to have to say, oh, Nelly was they was really fucking with me, but they tried to say Nelly was better than KRS-One because on that Rock the Mic remix, Nelly's verse was cool for that time. He got his little jabs in at KRS-One, but everybody knows he ain't a fucking better rapper than KRS-One. You know what I'm saying? But then here we go. If we were talking championships, well, how many platinum plaques does KRS have compared to Nelly? And they would
yeah,
use that argument first, like that was the real tell of a person's ability. It's not. You're in a team game. You are a piece of a team that helped the success of a team. But if
albeit it is a smaller team.
It's
yeah, but if you are again, if you are the best player on said team with the highest stats on said team, then you compare those against the next great of another team individually.
Because then what about the opposite? Talk about LeBron, okay? When LeBron didn't win, right? They said his team was so bad, but LeBron was supposed to be that player that's supposed to elevate his team to another level. So,
And then
Right.
he became
I
that
want to hear the
person.
team concept. I want to hear the team concept because if you elevate your team to another level and you don't win, they still don't give a fuck that you did that. So LeBron took bums to the
Is that
finals and they
ESPN talking
lost.
now?
Make that fuck them because they lost. LeBron wasn't the best guy. So you see what
But
I'm saying? So that team concept, you to be the best, you have to elevate your team too. So if you never won nothing, that means you weren't the best because that guy elevated his team to the championship.
LeBron did elevate every team that he was the best player on those Heat teams he won them championships on. He clearly was the best player.
Hands down.
I'm just
You
saying,
know,
elevate.
Hands down.
he was clearly the best player on them Cavs teams, even though
But
the
damn.
rest of the role players played their proper role. That's how Kyrie was able to ball the fuck out the way he did. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Dan, can I say something?
go ahead.
It's real. There's a real thin line between being the best player in their team and being the best player in their team that stifles developing players.
Right. Yeah.
Can we agree on that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and I think sometimes LeBron was doing that, and Carmelo too, because Carmelo was never the type of player that made everybody in his team better.
But
You know,
Carmelo
I think
didn't.
I think LeBron being a facilitator, we're quick to say that LeBron did that.
What's Chris Paul's excuse?
And Carmelo didn't really stifle. Carmelo was the go-to on most of his teams.
Except when Jerry Lin was on there.
His role was the go-to.
So,
His role was either to be the scorer or the finisher. That was his goal. Like he wasn't the facilitator. He wasn't that's where the Carmelo comparison is a little different, because LeBron is a facilitator. LeBron is I would say the Peyton Manning. He was the coach on the court in some ways, and put players in positions to do good. They would miss shots. Team game.
Look at Allen Iverson. Look at Allen Iverson. One of the best scoring guards in all the league. Philly couldn't buy people to come and play with Iverson. Why is that? There was no superstar that wanted to come and play with Allen Iverson in Philly.
I'm gonna tell you why that is. Because Larry Brown wanted AI to shoot every fucking time they went down court. You know, and I think it was a lot of the head coach for Philly. That's why nobody wanted to play with Iverson. Nobody wanted to go to Philly, because that was Larry Brown. That was detriment.
AI. The ball died with him. We know that.
Yeah.
But again, just to wrap this, I mean, Tyrone's still gonna stand against me, which is fine.
Part of your greatness is being able to elevate your team. So even though your little team, you tried it with your little team thing, that don't work for you. You gotta elevate your team.
Shout out to Salvador. Big shot, Bob.
All right. So last point on that then. Did Michael Jordan truly elevate his team, or did he strike fear in his team to make them do better?
Did he win?
No, you're not boiling it down to that simple. See that, and that's why I said that they're saying is stupid, because you boil it down to something that's simple. That's that. Do y'all feel me when I'm saying?
Yo, you made the point. You made the point. You made the point.
Did the Bulls win a championship without Michael Jordan? No. So he elevated them bums to the title.
But like O said, there's a difference between elevating and not elevating. He described it differently.
Ty, the Buffalo Bills went to 4 straight Super Bowls. Is Jim Kelly a bum? They went to 4 straight Super Bowls and lost them all. Jim Kelly's not a bum.
Y'all acting like not winning championships make you a bum. No, Jim Kelly's not a bum. But is Jim Kelly, look, same thing. Jim Kelly went to 4 Super Bowls and lost them, right? Is Jim Kelly better than Eli Manning?
Yes.
Yes.
But
at that time, yes, he was. No. He was better than Eli.
Yes. But they're not going to say Eli got the championships.
And that's
I'm not going to say here. I'm not. Listen, I'm a diehard Giants fan. I'm not going to say here and Jim Kelly wasn't better than Eli Manning. Jim Kelly was better than Eli Manning.
But that's the point. He just again solidified why I said that it's a dumb argument. All three of the 4 of us sat here. Well, 2 of the 4 of us sat here and said Jim Kelly is a better player than Eli Manning, but he reduced it to by how many rings he got.
And I won.
No, you didn't. That's why that saying is stupid. Because then we could flip it around and say, yeah, but how many more Super Bowls did Eli Manning make it to?
Hey, listen, if Eli Manning wasn't gun shy, and running for his fucking life with that offensive line, we don't know how many he might have won.
It's not we don't know right now, right? The career's over, right?
The career's over, right? Yeah, the career's over.
Goes back to a team sport, because you said the offensive line. You said the offensive line. Oh, yeah. You just shot it right there, bro.
I love this conversation. I didn't have the need. I didn't need to have the feeling
And Joe,
of being right.
and Joe Burrow,
But I'll
and,
just say
and,
y'all prove.
and Joe
my
Burrow won a playoff game and he got sacked 9 times. So the offensive line don't mean shit.
Yeah, okay. All
That's
right.
a young Joe Burrow. That's a young Joe
How
Burrow.
many chips does Burrow got? How many chips got Burrow got?
Hold up.
Burrow got 0 chips.
Right, year 9, Joe Burrow. Where he's fucking
hold up.
tired of getting sacked.
We're gonna have a starting 5. Yo, we're gonna have a starting 5 football game, right? Just to show Tyrone how much the fucking offensive line matters, right? I'm gonna play center. Tyrone's gonna be the quarterback. Big O and Jamal are gonna play the defensive ends. TJ, you're gonna be the defensive tackle, right? I'm going to just shit. I couldn't catch TJ and then watch his ass run for his life. Tell me how much that offensive line don't mean shit, good brother. Tell me how much that offensive line ain't gonna be there to save your life.
But yo, Dan, you're missing one thing. This is like year 9. All right, fucking Eli. Yo, us being Giants fan, we all remember Eli Manning, year 9, year 10 of him just being gun shy, running for his fucking life. Since the hut, he was running, and he was just like his head was on a swivel because he went through years.
I'm sorry, I know it's your birthday. I should be letting you finish, but once again, you completely disregarded offensive line and that whole little thing you just said. Yeah, he was running for his life because his offensive fucking line sucked. And you know that.
Right, that's what, but I'm saying he went through years.
You can't call him gun shy when he can't even pull his gun out. Pause. You know what I'm saying? He can't even pull the gun out.
It's the same thing Daniel Jones is going through right now. That's why he hurt his neck, bro. He can't. Only thing he can do is say his hike. That's all he can do. He can say hike. That's it. That's all he can do is say hike, bro.
Perennially bad offensive line.
Not even Omaha, just Nebraska. Dead. But anyway, this was an interesting conversation.
This was fun.
Interesting day. Just from old head conversations to happy birthday to the old head, to old crushes. Niggas are showing their age this episode. But we'll leave the birthday boy for last, Tyrone.
I mean, happy birthday. I'm sorry I had to treat you so roughly on your beautiful day, but I didn't. I apologize. And yeah, once again, I think I won this episode. I'm just going to not lie. So shout out to me. Always undefeated.
Boy, totally different ways looking at it, but okay.
I love to come over here and just be able to talk freely, talk my shit and have fun. I know some of it is just some spin doctor shit, but that's what I do. And y'all allow me to do it. And I appreciate that. And that's the shout out. And TJ.
Yo, I love Tyrone, man. He's the only dude I know is undefeated with no chips. So
never lost.
Charles Barkley in the shit.
Never lost.
That's you into this shit, boy.
Did he win the big one? I don't know, but he's undefeated. You know what I'm saying? That's what he got going.
Hey, he won the Olympics, man. He won the Olympics.
Again, this was a dope show. This is very entertaining. Happy birthday, O. This was dope. I love when we have conversations like this. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else to be said. This was hilarious. What's up, Dan?
Word. Well, as y'all realize, we didn't talk yet, though. Again, J1 Con is coming in 2 weeks. Another weekend or 2 away. Go get your tickets because you lost your opportunity to win free tickets from us because nobody decided to enter the contest. It is what it is. Y'all are adults. You do what you want. But when you do what you want, you better go to j1con.com, go buy your tickets. We're still going to be there whether you were coming there on our dime or not. We gave you the opportunity. I don't need to say anything more. Once again, much love to you, good brother, and happy birthday. Oh, the floor is yours.
Thank you, man. Thank you for the happy birthday shout-outs and happy birthday wishes, man. This is a great show. I apologize for coming in late, but yeah, man, that red cup of Spider-Man was calling me, man, and other birthday wishes. You know what I mean? Yo, it's a great show again. Can't wait for next week. Can't wait for J1 Con. I see all y'all in person. And yeah, man. This is what it is, man. I'm gonna see y'all next week.
Peace.
Salute.